Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be doing my round 6 review for SuperCoach, as well as going into round 7 with my last boost activated to get the last to get three mid prices to 2 primos and a rookie. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But anyway, before we jump into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on. I'll try and keep this short because the light is really dropping away at the moment. But anyway, let's get into this video. So as you can see, 19-24 for round 6, a total score of 12-7-4-4, I believe, on like 220 or 227, I believe, away from the leader at the moment. Overall rank of 87. If I got my captaincy right on with Dacos, it would have been I believe I would have been at 62. So yeah, would have lessened the blow there. Team value says 12,599,000, but that is with 360k in the bank, unlike a lot of people. And so yeah, it is roughly around the team value, total value of 12.95 million, 12.96 million, somewhere around there, I think. And yeah, the round rank suffered a little bit, but I think all the top teams sort of suffered this round. And yeah, as you see, 23 trades before this week, I believe. Or is that updated? We'll see. Let me just maybe refresh. There you go. So 26 trades before this week. I was going to that. Doesn't sound about right. But yeah, 26 trades. I'm dropping down to 23, and you will see them in a second here. But as you can see, if we just make this bigger, here we go. We'll make it like that. Sheasel 110. Did get hold a little bit. Apparently, McGuinness went to him a little bit. 110 for him. Not too bad. And happy to take a 110. Well, not happy, but okay with, I would say, to take a 110 captaincy score after Steele's 84. Nick Dacos, as I said, I think top scorer for the round for me. Yes, top scorer for the round in a pretty poor round for my boys. I had the... if I had somehow had the magical thought of captaining Harley Reid, I would have been... I think almost if I'd captained Harley Reid, I almost wouldn't have lost any ranks. So yeah, it just shows you if you captained Harley Reid, that's how crazy he went. I'm not going to be captaining Harley Reids, thank you. Ever, or at the moment, just because I don't think I will, and West Coast I don't think have many early games this year. Dacos 133, really happy about that, and his ratio was crazy. It was something, I was tracking it along, it was around 1.5 to 1.7 throughout the whole game, dropped a little bit in the last, I think also with scaling a little bit, as the game was dead. But yeah, he ended up with a 133 and like a 95 in fantasy, so it was like a 1.4 ratio, which is really good. Wanganeen Malira should be better off the off a longer break. He has 8 days, I believe, rather than the 5-day break that he has, as he played 3 and 11. So he was 69. It's not the greatest, but I'm hoping for a bounce back week, especially if we look here at at his averages usually. You can see his lowest score outside of that as a 91. If he can just return back to sort of these sort of big 100s or so, should be all right. Port Adelaide average versus defense 172. I don't know whether the 7 is on the easy or the hard side. I need to look at that. But yeah, I'm not too worried about him. And yeah, he may be a luxury trade at the end once we get all the guys out that we need to get out. But not too worried about Wanganeen Malira at the moment. And at Massimo, 60, he got subbed out, and yeah, he's gone. Williams, 33, then you can see how sort of I banked up these sort of lower scores, and yeah, Williams sucked, so out he goes as well. Closey, 75, what a jump for the rookie, 114k jump, something like that. 114k on the dot, and is still projected to jump another 70k. So he is just projected to jump, and yeah, really happy to have him involved. And yeah, he's going to almost jump his way up to 300k in the next 2 weeks, I would think. And yeah, you can see it here. A 77 and another 77 jumps him up to 316k. So yeah, I could see us holding him for quite a while here and finally getting him out at sort of that 390k range. He does slow down. He would need a big jumper. But if he gets a 124 again or a 108, it really could set that cash generation huge. As a 108, I think would set his break-even negative yet again, and a 108 would get him probably, I would suggest, 330k with a negative break-even, which would really, really help out. And that would almost, we're looking at No, we're looking at this one. Yeah, so I was right in saying 330 and a negative break even. So yeah, I think he could, if he gets to the 330 with a negative break even, another 80 score or something like that. I think that's all reasonable to say that he could pull out a 180. That would put him probably, I would think, at what's that? 23k difference for a 66. So say he was a negative break even, pulled out an 80. Oh, you're probably looking at 30 to 35k, and that would put him, I would think, at roughly 360k in a couple of weeks' time, which would be kind of crazy to think that. Or sorry, no, I am looking at it slightly wrong here. Break even minus 75. Let me see. So are they suggesting that a 77, if he scores a 77 this week, he should be 286. Okay, I was thinking a week ahead, and then, yeah, that makes sense. So if he goes 100 this week, I would think his break even's going to be, or could be negative 90 or so. Still, which would be really good to see, and that would put him roughly. I need to just double check this. Say Zach Williams here. Is that he's got a 62 break even. That's 62. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, that makes sense. Now I figured out where I went wrong. So they're suggesting his break even next week will be an 11, but he'll be priced at roughly 285k. I think is what they're trying to suggest here. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I think he could even outdo these price rises and get to that 380k very, very quickly in the next sort of 4 weeks rather than sort of 6 weeks. I think he could do that. So I'm not too worried about Closey, but Graham, he's doing really well as well. Minus 45 break even. They suspect he's going to get towards that sort of 290k range around the buys. So yeah, he's going to be huge, and we'll be hopefully getting a couple more 1, 2, 3s in the next couple of weeks that can be downgraded off of these guys. So we'd have only Closey and Graham left. But yeah, really looking forward to Graham and his price rises. Caulfield's still a while away, but he's still a loop option for me. And so yeah, using him wisely. Butters 127 is now my M1 at the moment for the time being. Was on the weekend, sorry, and yeah, just really happy with him. 127 did slow down, but did a lot of the work early, which is what we need for SuperCoach, I guess, especially when his team got blown out. In the end, he did the work when his team was up, which was good to see. Bonton Pellet 125, he somehow pulled out a 125 out of that performance, so yeah, pretty happy. Hopefully he can go a big one again. A lot of people obviously have him. He is 49% owned, so yeah, he's gonna not really, no matter what he does, it's sort of not really, doesn't matter what happens, I guess. Steel 84 did drop a stinker. You can probably thank Tim for that one. But yeah, 84 from him. Not too worried. Again, similar principles to Wanganeen Malira, and when we get down to Rowan Marshall, as you can see here, similar principle of just them having more rest should help. Martin 114. And yeah, pretty happy about that. Elliot Yo 112, he continues to produce and is almost top 6 defender line at the moment. Harley Reid 147, huge. He's absolutely huge. And yeah, just hoping he can be an F6 keeper at this point. As he can, if he can, that will mean that we're getting close to being able to have enough money sort of generating in the next couple of weeks. That I'm pretty sure I'm roughly around the marker at the moment for being about 20 to 30k off of hitting what I need to get if you average out the rest of these. So I want to upgrade, say, when my trades are done, you'll see what I mean. So we'll come back to that point, actually. I'll remember that. But you'll see exactly what I mean when I'm saying that I'm close to hitting the targets that I need. Bonner 81, he's been really good. Roberts 117, huge cash generation out of him and is projected to rise again with a 74 projection against the Hawks. I think he could do better than that. And yeah, if he does do better than that, then we are really in here, as he could rise to he could easily get to 450k, I reckon. There is a world in which he gets to 450k. I think that projection against the Hawks is a little bit dampened. So I reckon he could get to 410k, 415k by the end of the weekend. And the game against the Giants, he could easily get to 435, 440k. And that really sets him up to be just a tap-up upgrade almost. And could almost set up enough cash to do just a straight upgrade with him. And and not even need a downgrade guy. Then we move on. Sharp, 67 off the bench. Good cash gen. Glad that I didn't have him on field, as I don't think he would have been... I could have actually bettered my results, I think, with him over Dempsey, as Dempsey had a shocker. But also, then again, you have to look at it like I would have had to have moved... Yeah, I stuffed up Wilson. I stuffed up my bench and sort of, if I had Darcy and Wilson played in the same game, so I should have thought about that and potentially had Darcy looped, but also both of those two in the forward line, and then had potentially a Harley Reid there in the forward line or on the forward line bench to enable that to work. But I didn't, so I stuffed up there, and so that's how I stuffed that up. Clark 11, he's going to become a dead rookie. I'm resigned to that fact, and I reckon he could even be dropped. And Dempsey potentially sub. That's what could happen. Garcia 69, really happy I went early on him. It was and like I think the coaches panel, or who was it? Sorry, the centre bounce said in the live stream I was on. It is, if you keep on pulling up these guys that aren't on the bubble yet, especially in SuperCoach, and it's like going early on a 200k or something, or a rookie that's about to debut. It is really risky. They have a shocker of a game and really don't get the cash generation that you want. Like I said, with these guys that aren't on the bubble, they could screw themselves over. They could they could play badly to the point that they get dropped. That's why I'm happy that they didn't go biggie. Or they could get injured, or they have just such a bad score that you can't actually have them, or they don't actually get that much cash gen. So it's better just to not risk it on a lot of these guys and pick up guys that are on the that are potentially that are only on the bubble. So yeah, happy I went early on Garcia, as I thought I saw something there, but I'm not going to go early on many others this year. Gordon on the bye. Marshall 51, he sucked, but just got smashed by the English matchup. And then Jackson covered with a 90. I still think Jackson is close to being a top 6 forward. And I think he's still going to be able to be carried through the next couple of weeks, especially if he can do well and get another big score this week. It will really help. Heaney doing what Heaney does. Flanders doing what he does best, even though it was a shocker game by Foot. But hopefully he's more efficient against West Coast, as he has a role in which he could easily get a 1.4 or a 1.5 DT to SuperCoach ratio, and he could pull a 160 out if he's just efficient. But he had 7 clangers, which caused 6 goals, and that really does lay down on the SuperCoach scoring. Tom Powell 73. Some are saying that he might be a trade out. I think he just had a poor game, and you can have poor games as a primo. Look at Steele. Steele was probably more unders of his average. Powell was only 20 unders or 26 unders of his average, whereas Steele was, I think, about 40 points under his average pre-game. So yeah, players can have bad games. Look at Rowan Marshall. He was about 60 point unders. Fife, yeah, he's doing his job and could potentially be a keeper, but most likely going to be once we get through all of the rookies, or potentially in a couple of weeks' time, he just gets upgraded to someone, potentially a midfielder, as we move Harley Reid and some of the forwards down here, etc., that we get in the trades. But he's doing his job. Ollie Dempsey by potentially a forced trade out now that he could potentially be dropped for Gary Rowan. But I suspect Clark might be the one that drops, and potentially an Ollie Dempsey to the bench, which is still a forced trade out. So yeah, I'm not looking at Ollie Dempsey too kindly this week. Livingston back to his R3 slot for the rest of the year, basically, except for the bye rounds. As these 3 guys, the good thing about these 3 guys, if I hold Jackson throughout the year, they all play different bye rounds, so I can have 22 on without trouble. Because some people will not have Jackson and will find it troubling that they will have potentially only availability for 1 less premium, etc., or just 1 less dropout score, which could be a worry. But anyway, I'd rather have 22 guys on field than 21 just running the gauntlet. It's not fun. Darcy didn't get ruck stats, which was annoying. We got bevoed in a really big win for Western Bulldogs, so yeah, you can't get away from the double bevo of the Riley Sanders sub, and then also the bevo of Darcy not getting ruck time. English just took a lot of the ruck time, as well as Rory Lubb took a little bit, I believe. So yeah, Darcy didn't get the ruck status that we wanted. And then Darcy Wilson is 69. Happy about that. Happy for the cash gen for him, as he is potentially a guy that I will use next week to get, I think, track I put in the I think that's sort of my thought process with that. I should probably start logging my thought process or put them down in a notepad or something like that so I actually remember, rather than having to scroll through text and stuff like that to find it. But anyway, we move on to round 7, and my grades are by Zach Williams, by D'Ambrosio, and by Ollie Dempsey. And if I remember correctly, it is Zorko. It is also, yes, Zorko was a massive risk, but I don't think it's as much of a risk anymore, given, well, he looks pretty good at the moment. Then you also have Walsh, getting him in. He looked really good. Let me put Martin into the back line, and well as I need to move. I think I moved Powell in. That was what my trades were. Sorry, let me move Yo back into the back line as well, just to allow me to do Sam Walsh. And then also, I think I'm going to do Biggie as well, and do that as well. And that leaves me with 98k in the bank. And if we go here, and let me just finish this off by doing, I don't need that. I want you back here to get Jackson on field. And I want you there. And then I want Darcy Wilson here. And then I want Sharp on field. I think, who plays first? Do we have a St Kilda, or do we have a... who plays first out of St Kilda or Freo? St Kilda do, so I will be potentially looping Darcy Wilson in if he goes well against the likes of Port Adelaide. They're a low stoppage side, so I reckon, or I need to actually double check that to see if they're a low stoppage side again this year. But yeah, I will be looping potentially looping one of Darcy Wilson or Garcia on field, and not having to take the risk on Sharp, as I would probably take an 80 or a 90 there. But yeah, I think I'm in a really good position at the moment. 23 trades left. Team value on field now of roughly the 12.85 million or so. We need roughly 14 million, and you got Closey, Graham, Darcy Wilson still making cash. Sharp should make another little bit. Roberts is making cash. Bonner's still doing a little bit. Even, you have these primo guys that will start making some cash, e.g. Walsh. He's got a 33 break-even, projected to make 45k. Sheasel is 99 break-even. You got Nick Dacos making some cash, but these guys should slowly be making some cash, which will be good. Even Elliot Yo's made 127k. What a start that was. And projected to make another little bit. So these guys start to make cash. And you still got likes of Zorko, who should be making cash. Harley Reid making cash as well. Massive cash gen out of him. Fife as well should still be making some cash. Luke Jackson has a horrid break even, but could still pull out a massive 100% efficiency game to get that big score needed. Flanders 104 break even. Isaac Heaney 114. Rowan Marshall 168. He's not going to hit that, but you have coverage through Max Gawn should hit his, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm just really happy at the moment with the side. Good potential cash gen. Biggie, I just need Biggie to get sort of 3 weeks, I reckon, of Biggie. Could do well, as I think he should do better than last week's 46 against Hawthorn. So yeah, there is potential for him to get dropped, which is more reason to go for like a McAuliffe. But I don't think he will. Because I think they'll chuck Comben forward, to be honest with you. As Comben, I think, looked better forward with Nick Larkey there. So Comben looks better sort of anywhere on the field at the moment for North. But I think you can get Toby Pink back in there and get stay and have Biggie stay. But we'll wait and see on that one. I'm worried that Biggie might not play, but I think manoeuvres to flip. And if I do get worried and McAuliffe is actually still playing, I could just go there. As McAuliffe did, I think, put up a 50 or so. McAuliffe put up, I think, a 50, was it? Let's see, a 58 against West Coast Eagles. And, yeah, when he's not sub, he looks pretty good. So if he isn't sub, I potentially will go there. But Biggie's got a minus, 50 break even. So, Biggie's got a minus 64 break even, which is hard to go against. So, we'll see. It's one that I'm going to chuck up and down and probably up and down again. But yeah, that's sort of the last decision for the round. Max Gawn VC. I forgot to do my fantasy VC, but that'll be Max Gawn as well. And then the captaincy, who has the West Coast matchup? It's Gold Coast. I don't want to put Flanders captaincy on, to be honest with you. I'll probably put the captaincy on Heaney as well, and then you see my projected score of 24.75. If I put the captaincy on Gawn, that goes up to a 25.52. So yeah, you can really see I'm really hopeful for a huge round this round. And let's see the big score come in and solidify the top 100 place, which I'm only in the top 100 by like 12 points. But I feel like I'm ahead of the pack here with trades. I would have liked to have gone maybe a Jordan Clark over a Wanganeen Malira now with hindsight, but I thought Wanganeen Malira would get the big kick out role there. So maybe I should have looked at fixtures and realised that they were probably going to be tied and he was probably going to put up a poor score. But anyway, that's hindsight now. But yeah, looking forward to it. Closey, Bonner, Roberts, Sharp, and potentially a Reed or a Fife, or I think one of those two will be capable, but I don't know if both of them will be. But hopefully, just get some cash gen and can get towards that sort of 14 million quick smart, as getting ahead early and using trades early, I think it's just a smart move, as that can really get you ahead of the game. But anyway, that is the video there, and I guess I will see you guys in the recaps that'll be filmed on the Thursday. And that'll be a Wednesday night's game, so that's in a couple of days now. So I guess I'll see you guys in that recap video on the Thursday of the Richmond versus Melbourne game. So I'll see you guys in that one. Bye, guys.